Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Cloud and Clear. I'm Narine Galstian, Chief Marketing Officer at SADA, taking over for Tony Safoyan today with a special guest. Please meet Franz Aman, Chief Marketing Officer for MariaDB. Welcome, Franz. Thank you for joining us.
Narine, thank you so much. Yes, another Chief Marketing Officer.
Yes, this is a talk track not only about marketing, but technology and trends and, some product talk. So something for everybody today. Franz, before we get started, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background. Tell us about your journey to MariaDB and how you got started.
Yeah, that's a really long story and probably shows my age. But I originally started in geophysics, and I always expected I would be drilling for oil someplace. But at the time when I got out of university, there was so much oil found, and we can see that now with global warming and all. But, effectively, there were no jobs in the exploration industry. So most of us ended up somewhere in the computer industry because we were working on the fastest computers available at the time. We were on VAX systems, on massive clusters. We worked on Cray, high performance computers. So all of us pretty much ended up in the computer industry, and so did I. And I was offered a job at an American company, Sun Microsystems originally, and that's pretty much where my high-tech journey started. And then came to the US and worked in engineering, development. Eventually ended up on the marketing side. So here I am.
Well, that's amazing. You certainly have the clout to bring into marketing and know what the customer needs. But tell us a little bit about MariaDB. Now, MariaDB is a SADA customer, a Google Cloud partner, and a member of our SaaS Alliance program. But tell us a little bit about MariaDB and the customers that you're catering to, and really what differentiates you in the marketplace.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. MariaDB is a very horizontal solution. We're a relational database company. And ultimately, anyone who has to store data or access data can be our customer. That is pretty much everyone. So we have blue chip customers across all the industries. Every time I look at our customer lineup, it's really amazing. There's almost no industry that isn't represented, but of course, data intensive industries is where we shine. We do a lot of transactional things. So we have entire banks running top to bottom on MariaDB. DBS Bank is one of them. They are the biggest lender in Southeast Asia, and they're running top to bottom on MariaDB.
So as we get into the types of customers you're catering into, you mentioned data. I'm assuming besides banks, you probably have a lot of retail customers or e-commerce customers. How do you cater to them given today's scenarios, right? And the challenges that they're facing?
Yeah. So, when I look at customers today, the amount of data keeps on growing. There's one thing that's for sure. There's always going to be more data. So they need to be able to afford the databases where they store data, how they access data. Another trend is that more and more data is not just produced in the cloud, but it actually is stored in the cloud. So the trend you see in our industry is that one, customers are moving from legacy systems, legacy databases that are often very expensive, to open source solutions like MariaDB. We're an open source company. And then, of course, they go into the cloud because that's where most of the action in terms of data is happening now. And if you look at that confluence of those two trends, cloud and open source, that's where MariaDB shines. And of course, that's also where you shine. I mean, it's a beautiful, perfect confluence of trends.
Yeah, certainly data is a major challenge for many organizations now, making sense of that data and being able to really make informed decisions, right, from the data you're gathering is such an important factor, not only for, product development, but also for marketing. So as marketing folks, we're constantly looking to learn more about our audience and our customers and their challenges and your needs. Just given in today's scenarios, or over the past 2 years, has your marketing strategy changed or pivoted?
Yeah, I think marketing has gone through a change. Over the last 20, 30 years, marketing has become a very data-centric discipline. And marketing used to be very, left-brained, right-brained, either more artsy, more creative. But you cannot. If you don't understand data as a marketer today, it just does not work, right? It just does not work. So I've always worked in data-heavy industries around analytics. Now with MariaDB, storing data, I use analytical capabilities every day. And analytics and transactions, I think that's what marketers actually are basing decisions on today, right? There's just no other way.
You're absolutely right. It's definitely a key component for many CMOs right now, just to make sense of all of the data and get to know their customers a lot better. But, one of the ways, obviously, is making sure we have the right platforms and tools in place. So let's talk a little bit about Google Cloud. You've been a Google Cloud partner and customer for some time now. I want to congratulate you on winning the Google Cloud Customer of the Year award last year, along with many other accolades. You've managed to get last year Technology of the Year award from InfoWorld, the Best Cloud Database from Reader's Choice Awards, and many others. So when you're looking for the right technologies, why Google Cloud?
Yeah, first, thank you so much for mentioning those awards. We've actually been racking them up since announcing a cloud database as a service on GCP first. We entered the market on GCP. And, for us, GCP was a great choice because of the technical depth of both your team and the Google team. And the Google Cloud, just in terms of networking, technical heft, there's just no parallel. So we also felt particularly good with your partnership and with Google because of the core competency around Kubernetes. And the cloud offering that we put together was entirely based on Kubernetes. So having someone with core competency around Kubernetes was absolutely essential. Now, Google, as basically the open source sponsor and inventor of Kubernetes, who better than the people who came up with it, right?
Definitely. And your product, SkySQL, positioned as the best DBaaS, database as a service in the marketplace. So tell us a little bit on how you worked with Google and SADA as your partner to build the right product for your customers.
Well, first of all, your team really helped navigate Google, right? Google is a huge organization. And when you're trying to figure out how to do a great job and get the best performance out of your software on a cloud platform, dealing with a huge partner like Google is very, very challenging. And I have to say, your team just knew exactly who to talk to, who to work with. And when we had some performance challenges and needed some tuning help and needed to really figure out what was going wrong, your team jumped in it. The folks at Google, super competent as well. And we solved problems that I think, without your team and Google team's help, I don't know how long it would have taken.
Well, we do have some of the besties in the ecosystem. So I'm thrilled to hear that we're able to help you with SkySQL. Tell us a little bit about the product. Who does it cater to? Why the customer needs it today?
Yeah, so, as I mentioned, databases are an incredibly horizontal technology, and pretty much everyone needs it. Now, I think what makes MariaDB special is that you can start very easily, and you can just have a simple application that can be super successful in SkySQL, you just connect it to that cloud database. It just works. You don't need to install anything. You don't need to set up a database, configure it. It's all automatic, done, fully managed. You don't have to worry about backups. You don't have to worry about, any of that. And with MariaDB, you have the ability to then scale up and out. And if your little database is super successful, your application is super successful, you can literally go from a small business to a global enterprise, and you can do all that on MariaDB and do it seamlessly. And together between GCP, you, and SkySQL, and what we do, it's just an absolutely seamless transition going from small to tremendous. And one of the things that's also different about SkySQL is that we can scale out dramatically. So we can use however many nodes in parallel, and we can just keep adding in more and more system capacity to run one simple logical database.
So with customers that SADA has and our partnership with MariaDB, you decided to join our SaaS Alliance program, which is a program designed to help SaaS customers with co-selling, co-marketing initiatives to grow and to scale. Tell us why that program is important to you.
Yeah. I mean, you have built an amazing customer network. So just looking at the network effect of working with you and working with you and your customers is fabulous. From a co-marketing, marketing, co-selling perspective, I think we've seen tremendous benefits. And it's been part of our success, and we have many joint success stories. I don't think that would be possible without that just great collaborative partnership. And to us, the SaaS Alliance program was really a key enabler to get us off the ground quickly. And if I look at the growth of SkySQL, I mean, nothing like anything else we have in the product line. So it's been phenomenal.
That's very exciting to hear. It's certainly what we wanted to create with the program. And you're right in the collaboration and really working together to make sure that, one, we're bringing value to our customers, and two, we're helping them grow, right? Grow and scale with SADA services, with Google Cloud, and of course, with SkySQL. The program is constantly growing, and new partners are coming into the ecosystem, and we're thrilled to expand on those services. What is the most important key factor in the Alliance program benefits that you'd like to see grow?
Yeah, so Narine, I think just the joint go-to-market, the partnership on the marketing side, on co-selling, that's really the most exciting to me personally. And if I just look at what we've done already, I know that we can double and triple that over the course of the year. So, I just like to see that accelerate even further.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to joint customer success stories that we can share soon. I know there's several in the works, and I'm excited to launch those very quickly. Thank you for your partnership in making sure our joint customers are very successful. Before we wrap up, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about culture and company culture in today's kind of unprecedented time with remote work, hybrid work, and leading in these types of scenarios. How have you been engaging with your team in this remote environment? And as a leader, what style have you found to best work for you?
Yeah, interesting question. I think one of the most important things is you have to give your teams flexibility, and you have to make sure that people can design their days somewhat flexibly. I mean, with all the challenges that we're seeing personally and every one of our employees sees, whether it's about daycare, whether it's about not having daycare, which happens very frequently, I see some of our team work at just very unusual hours. But to me, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, if you have objectives you need to accomplish, and if you spell out the objectives clearly and you have measures in place, you have KPIs, like we're using in our partnership too, then you set up for a great outcome. You can manage what you can measure. We know that. And in that case, you see the results regardless of when someone does something. So, it's not an 8 to 5 world anymore. It's really about getting the job done, getting it done well. And we need to be flexible in terms of the hours and, accommodate people.
I completely agree. Definitely flexibility, empathy for everyone's situation and what everyone is having to face at home and with family. Remaining flexible is the key component. And whether we remain in this remote work environment or one day go back into the office, I think the workplace has changed forever, and how we engage and connect has changed forever. I know myself with my team, we always looking for collaborative tools, right, to keep us connected. But most importantly, making sure that we're respecting each other's flexibility in their time, in their families, and how they work, and being empathetic in these challenging times so that we can all support each other and do our best work. So I think we still have a long ways to go. But certainly I feel more connected to my team even in this remote environment. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I like your recipe. I think those are the right ingredients. And it's so easy to just drop someone a line, right? And just connect on the spot. And, from my perspective, it's amazing how real many of the interactions are when you meet new employees who you have actually never saw in person, and you have an opportunity then to meet. It's pretty much what you get over Google Meet. It's the same person. It's very real. The one thing I figured out that's different is you have no idea how tall someone is, and you may be going looking up and wow, I did not expect that person to be this tall, because you just cannot tell.
Yes, from the waist up, right? There's no way to know. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting some of my new team members that I haven't met over the last couple of years, hopefully soon. But Franz, thank you so much for joining us today. I wanted to really thank you for being a wonderful partner, and excited for the next stage of growth for MariaDB and continuing to collaborate and continuing to grow our partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Narine. We love working with you guys. So keep it up. Thank you.
That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining this week's Cloud and Clear.
Thank you for listening to Cloud and Clear. Check the show notes for links to this week's topics. And don't forget to connect with us on Twitter @CloudandClear and our website, SADA.com. Be sure to rate and review the show on your favorite podcast app.